Kia ora, g'day. My name is Steve Staunton. I'm a registered social worker and accredited alcohol and drug practitioner here in New Zealand. I'm also a five-step method accredited practitioner, assessor, as well as trainer. What I'm doing today is showing you very briefly how to use the AI function within Otter to search for and identify evidence of a practitioner's competency as assessed or according to the five-step method competency criteria. So a couple of brief disclaimers that AI and the transcription services are not perfect. So sometimes they miss or get words transcribed incorrectly or miss evidence. So it's not something we can rely wholly and solely on to do an assessment for us, but it's a tool to help us much more quickly find evidence of the criteria being met. It can also offer suggestions of improvements, both in terms of the technical skills and the core counselling skills, so table 1 as well as table 2. So what I'm going to do is show you how to get the AI function to do that for us. I'm going to share my screen and open up my Otter screen. Actually, no, I've actually opened up the wrong screen. So we'll go to the Otter screen. So this is a best practice example that Richard Velleman and myself put together a while ago of step 2. So we're going to use this to have Otter find evidence for us of some of this table 1 and table 2 criteria. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we've got this right menu open and we've clicked on the AI chat, because this is where we ask questions down in this bottom right-hand corner. And we start the questions by saying at Otter. That's how we begin. That's how Otter knows that we're asking a question. And so we're going to cut and paste from another document pre-written questions that are asking Otter to find competency criteria. So I'm going to go back to the other screen that I had open before. This is an AI guidance document put together by Jill Velleman and myself to help this process out. So if we scroll down, we can see that for each step, there are questions that will be asking for evidence, as well as questions asking for suggested improvements. I'm going to scroll down to get to step 2. And basically what we do is we cut and paste one question at a time. So Control C or right click and do copy, whichever method we want. And then we go back to the Otter screen. So I'll share that screen again. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we Control V or right click to paste that question. And as you can see, there's the stem, the start of the sentence. At Otter, can you give examples and timestamps of all the transcript sentences where the counsellor demonstrated the following criteria? So in actual fact, you can break up this criteria if you want. If you just want to know the beginning of the session or the setting a clear and structured agenda, or check if the previous session was helpful, you can break that down. It just takes a little bit of extra time to do that, but it works well enough if you ask them all together. So we press send, so you can see it's going through, giving us some examples of quotes. Here we go, checking usefulness, or at least setting the agenda, and you can see the timestamp. So I can then go to the actual transcript and find it. Obviously, I've done all this right at the very start. So giving the purpose, here is the evidence. It cut and pastes the quote for me. I can copy this myself and copy it from here and put it into another document, put it into my competency assessment form if I wanted to. Or if I'm doing a video session with a practitioner, we can put these questions in and go, all right, so let's go and have a look at the 5-second mark and see what was said. I can do exactly the same thing for improvements. I can do exactly the same thing for table 1 stuff as well. So let's just pick one at random. So go down to the table 2 core counselling skills, and we'll pick perhaps this second one. At Otter, can you give examples and show timestamps of all the transcript sentences where the counsellor did listen carefully, give minimal encourages, summarise? So our second criteria. So I've cut and pasted that. Go back to the Otter and Control V. So there's my question, and I press send the message. Wait a couple of seconds. Sometimes what you might have to do is scroll down, and there's the answers. You scroll back up to see the question. So I can copy the text. I can even copy the link, but copying the text is good enough. But we can have a look and say, so when did I listen carefully, giving minimal encourages? There's some examples. There's the timestamps. When did I summarize? There's some examples with the timestamps. And for example, when did I reflect verbal and emotional content? So 5:53. So let's scroll down and see if we can find that. So 5:53 mark. Sometimes the timing is a little out, but you can say there's the actual reflection there. Sounds as though it's kind of distressing to not know, isn't it? So there's a reflection of emotional content. So the other thing that we could do, if we go back to the guidance document, and this won't work as well because I haven't put all the questions in, we can ask it to do an assessment summary for us. So if you've actually put all the previous competency criteria in there, you can ask it to rate the counsellor's ability, which is, this first one, or you can ask it what score you might give, or you can ask it what feedback you might give. Oh, I'm not very good at highlighting that kind of stuff. Key point to note is we don't rely solely on the score it gives, but it helps us to find some evidence for our judgment. It's supporting us doing the work, making it a little bit quicker. So feel free to do this yourself. You can perhaps through YouTube download the actual step 2 best practice example, put it in Otter yourself, and begin to ask the questions of it if you'd like. But otherwise, hopefully you found that helpful. I'll stop this share now, and I will bid you farewell and wish you good luck in using this as a tool to support your competency assessments. Bye for now.